Greetings! In one of my older reviews for the Arduboy, a user named David Rod, hopefully I got that name right, commented about other open source projects, including one called the Pokitto. The name alone had me curious, and after investigating, in no time I was hooked. It was intriguing, it was funny looking, and it looked like it could give the Arduboy a run for its money, so I had to have it. Little did I know how long it had already been out, and just how impressive this thing is, and its continuous support 5 years later. Looking into the Paquito, I found that it was designed by a Finnish gentleman named Nuvvola, becoming a successful Kickstarter released in early 2018. I'm not sure entirely about the design, why it seems to have little legs and arms. They seem to have no technical use, but my guess is they wanted it to look like this to appeal to children and to get them excited about programming. It makes for a cute mascot in any case.
Hello, my name is Pokitto. I am a gaming gadget that you can program yourself.
Quick stats for the Paquito is that it's powered by a 32-bit ARM Cortex M0 Plus LPC11U68 processor clocked in at 48 MHz with a 36K RAM and 256 of built-in flash. It also has a 2-inch color TFT LCD display and a 600 milliamp lithium battery, which thanks to the clever design can last between 6 to 8 hours. It optionally takes an SD card that I'm still not sure what the maximum size is, but I've been rocking a 2 gig and it's been more than enough. The Paquito normally comes as a solder-free kit that you build, but I believe you can purchase them pre-assembled also. Mine came already built, but I don't think it was by the company. That's okay though, whoever built it did a really good job, so I'm not going to complain here. It comes in a variety of colors, but these days I say get whatever you can from the secondhand market. Otherwise, buying directly from Paquito, new, currently will cost you around 50 euros, yet currently you'll be on back order. I guess it goes to show how popular this item still is. I feel lucky to have one. There is some extra hardware available for the Paquito as well. It has a joystick and Ramble Hat add-on that's a rumble pack and a way to add a joystick. There's also a traffic lights kit for beginner programmers to mess with. So let's look at what I got and go through it all. Even though the official Paquito box was underwhelming, the complete kit comes with an SD to USB converter, a micro USB cable, and very colorful building instructions. It's a fairly small device, barely 3 inches tall, and 2.5 inches wide. The D-pad and front buttons are the same as the hard plastic casing. They're a bit stiff, but they work fine, I guess, for this sort of thing. The back of the Paquito rocks a speaker and 2 smaller buttons that are rubber. One is sort of a reset button, and one is to actually force access to the flash. More on that later. The bottom of the unit has a USB port for connecting a PC and also for battery charging, as well as a headphone jack, while the top has a familiar-looking expansion header for all your crazy experiments you might have for this thing. The only other thing this has is a switch and an SD slot to hold your games you can put into your flash. And be careful with this SD slot. Sometimes you can completely miss it and it goes inside the casing. I only did it once, but hopefully I'll never do it again.
Never again.
The Paquito is fairly simple in that when turning it on, you have a choice to load a game off your SD or play what's already on the flash. And that's about as difficult as it gets for the most part. If you have no SD card, you have to connect it to your PC and push the flash button onto the back to gain access to the flash and replace it manually. Since the user support is still very current for this thing, games are still being developed and they look impressive. We're not talking Hello World stuff here. We're talking full-color FPS games with music. I'm still exploring and finding amazing games and programs. I'm so impressed with what people can make for the Paquito. There are some seriously talented people out there, and you can get most of these games for free, and that's just awesome. Here are a few more to look at. I really hate comparing this thing to the Arduboy because if you know me at all, I truly worship Kevin Bates and his product. But how much more the Paquito provides is leaps and bounds above. Even the fact that it's a color screen knocks it out of the park already. But the Paquito supports streaming music and games, as well as being able to add or remove whatever games you're not interested off your SD card. The Arduboy FX comes close, but it's black and white. There's no SD card to add and remove games, and it doesn't have an obvious reset button that I already talked about in a previous review. Maybe they're so far apart I may be comparing apples to oranges, but it's worth bringing up. There are a few things I don't like with the Paquito. but I'm just being overly critical. The volume is a bit weird here. It really could have used a dial, considering some games are going to be louder than others. With the Paquito, volume control is before you start playing the game. It's a bit weird to try and predict how loud you want the volume, but be prepared to take a guess and hope for the best. I found out later that pressing the C button and the D-pad in certain directions can change the volume in most cases. It really disturbs your gameplay for the most part, but it's better than nothing. Another thing that annoyed me is that some programs you may download may not be complete. When this happens, it may not allow you back to the main menu to choose another game, ever. When that happens, you have to use the flash option to get it to come back. Not for the faint of heart if you didn't know how to do that.
Alright.
So if you have an opportunity to get one, I say get one. It may be a little old, but trust me, the coders and users are treating this like a brand new toy. And there's a magazine for this thing. You have to be kidding me. Kevin Bates, where's my issue of Arduboy magazine? Anyway, the Paquito is awesome, and I highly recommend it if you really are into open source stuff. It may look like a science project you can buy from a craft store, but trust me, it's way cooler than it looks. And that's all I have to say about the Paquito. If you agree with me or not, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear what you have to say about this. Thanks for watching, thanks for your support, and I'll see you next time. Bye.